Okay. Can you see? All right, here comes the fun part. We gotta flip all these around. And I might as well lay out some smaller ones too. ¿Por qué no? Might as well be fully prepared for our rhinestoning adventures today. Not rhinestoning, crystalling. These are not rhinestones, these are crystals. These are very, very expensive crystals that just shimmer in the, there we go, look at that. Oh yeah. They really do just catch light so much better. Okay, so right now it's just the tedious part of our DIY, always when it comes to stones, flat back stones, is that I still have not come across an easy way. I did come across a lady that had a container that would sort them out into sizes if they all got mixed up, but I still haven't seen anything that lays them out flat in any kind of easy way. So this is always the most tedious part of any stoning project, which is getting all your beautiful crystals onto their back. And if you're watching live and you are a DIY person that uses stones in your artistic process and you have an easy way to do this, feel free to let me know. I've been begging. Does anybody out there know anything that can help me? Because this is quite tedious. But then I have to tell myself that is this just part of the process, right? You want something beautiful, there's process. And so just like when you're cooking, there's prep work, right? You have to prep your ingredients, you have to chop your ingredients, you have to wash your ingredients, you have to measure your ingredients. When there's baking, you definitely have to measure your ingredients. That can be quite tedious. So, sorry. Morning alarms. Anywho, it's Sunday morning. Good morning. I just came back from taking my dog for a walk. She's sitting there in the sun now. There she is. Okay. So yeah, so we're back from our walk, and now I'm gonna work on this Swarovski crystal Labubu project that I've been working on. I had to order more crystals because they come in teeny tiny packages, unlike the rhinestones that come in bigger packages for the same amount. And so the goal for this project, because I do different types of customization for my Labubus, is for this Labubu, we're shooting, our goal is a fully encrusted Labubu like this, but these are rhinestones. But this is the idea that this baby, so the idea, the goal is that when we're done, this one will be fully encrusted like this one, but in Swarovski crystals. I mean, let's see, put them down here. You can kind of tell on camera. It's hard to tell on camera the difference in the shine, but the crystals in person, the light just pops brighter and lighter. Like it just catches sun better. Okay, so let's start working. Oh, wait, there's a few more crystals that need to be put on their back. So right now I'm working with 3 sizes of crystals. I have some 20s in front of me. The majority of it is 20s. And then I think these are 16s and 12s that I'm flipping over right now. I like to have smaller ones too because since the Labubu is not a flat surface, and she has fur, sometimes you get some little lumps and bumps in our surface, or you get like little cracks sometimes, or like uneven surface. And for the goal of this one, which is like a fully encrusted Labubu, you want to fill in those gaps. And so that's where having smaller stones comes into play. And I have stones that are even smaller than the ones that I have laid out in case we need them. But for now, we're just going to work with these 3 sizes just so that we can get started. Do you know what I'm saying? And then need be off camera, I can always go back and fill in any smaller gaps that are needed with teeny tiny stones, which is what I tend to do. The super tedious work, which is like filling in tiny gaps or replacing stones that fell off, because sometimes not everybody cooperates the first time around, and so sometimes they pop off a little bit. But that's part of the process too, is like working in sections, letting sections dry. And so now we have our stones laid out. You can see them. And now I'm going to do a little bit of my quality control that I like to do, which is like rub them down. So it's been sitting for quite a few days now, drying. Oh, there, a teeny tiny one popped off, but that's fine. But it was a teeny tiny one, but something did fall off. Because I worked really hard on one of these and I gave it to my trainer. And then like literally, as soon as I give it to her, one of the stones falls off. And I said, excuse me. Okay, not too bad. Just 2 small stones fell off from that. And the front of our Labubu, all she has is big stones laying out her necklace. So pretty good, not too bad. So now we're gonna get started for today's session. So I think the goal for today is to get a little bit more light on here. So let's get our little bendable light on here. Cute. Our book light. Get our tools ready. Sorry. Have everything lined out. So today we're using some fine-tipped, a fine-tipped angled tweezer. We have a wax tip that has a pretty wide tip for the bigger stones. And then we have another wax tip that's smaller for our smaller stones. I try to avoid using the tweezers because it's harder to be precise, but sometimes things land wrong. And so you got to, hustle them around a little bit or like pull it off. And so that's where the tweezers are handy. Okay, great. Are you ready to get started? Let's get started. So I'm continuing to use E6000. I tried using spray-on adhesive, but then when you're working in sections, it's not as viable because when you want to come back, it's, you can't be super precise with like spray-on adhesive. And I'm not going to sit here and tape these down. That's too much hassle. So what I've found to be effective is E6000, and I have this method that over time, because this is my 5th or 6th Labubu that I'm doing a stoning customization on. And so I have this method where I like glue down the hair, almost kind of like when you glue down eyebrows when you're doing like really extreme makeup. That's a very similar idea because we're trying to create a flat surface for our stones to capture on and to create as much surface space for them to, like I said, capture on. Do I have enough light or do I need to move us into the sunlight? I think because we have sunlight, I'm going to go ahead and use that to our benefit. So I'm going to take a second to hustle over and chase the sun for a bit. So be patient with me for just un minuto. We're just moving our table over a tiny bit. One tiny bit. So there we go. Now we have some sun. Okay. Yeah, it's so much better in the sunlight. Okay. There we go. Okay. This is another Labubu that I worked on, or am working on. She's still a work in progress. I need to finish bringing the light pink. She also needs a little quality control. She needs a good rub down and some stones replaced because I just felt some loose stones. But this is for my friend JP them. They requested pink stones for her outfit, and she has more of an outfit customization because some of the Labubus have outfits versus like the full crystallization moment that we're going for our blue big into energy Labubu that we're working on today. So now that I've spent some time setting up my workspace, I think we're ready to get some work done. Feel free to say hi in the chat. When I'm looking down and concentrating, it's a little, like it'll take me a minute to come back up and say hi, but I will make sure I say hi. And let's move this a little bit more into the sun. Okay. It's okay. Okay, there we go. All right, sunshine. Perfect. Okay, now I can see what I'm doing. It's better when you can see what you're doing. And my little book light is barely putting any light out. I need to charge it. Okay, let's get working. So let's finish the back of her body with stones. Get our E6000 going. After it's been sitting for a while, it takes a minute to get going. Come on. I might need a new tip. Ugh. I'm gonna go get a new tip. I'll be right back. The glue's not coming out. So funny. It's like I have so many glittery projects I've been working on. There's like, even though I vacuumed, there's so many pieces of glitter and stones all over the place. It's like a mermaid lair. It's like a mermaid lives here. Okay, I have a new tip for our E6000. So we're gonna swap these out so we can get some glue going. Because if we don't have glue, we don't have a project. All right, so I have a new tip. That should, there we go. There she goes. Okay, so now I take the E6000 and it's like, you're like brushing it on and like painting it on the fur. I've also done some where I shave them down. Well, shave. You're basically taking scissors and hacking their fur away because it's synthetic fur, so you can't really actually shave it. I tried shaving with clippers. And it helps, but I think I actually did trim the back of her. So I actually should correct myself. It did help. And we're gonna have to take scissors to her front and get rid of some of the hair because it really does help. All right, we get glue. We get glue. And so we're creating surface space for our stones to adhere to, but we're also making our surface as flat and as even as possible. So again, you're like brushing on the glue is the idea. And so see how like, see how the glue on the, see how the fur on the back is a little more flat than the front? Part of it is because it was trimmed and part of it is because I'm gluing it down. So now Let's make sure we have enough glue to work with, because our goal for this, our immediate goal for this session is to at least finish her back. At least finish her back is the goal. At least finish her back. So I think that's enough glue. Now, the E6000 with the tips comes with this little cap. And so you put it on. And I like to have my E6000 pointing up if I can, even with the cap, because it's a very loose cap. I mean, you end up with like build up like this inside of it after a while because it's not much of a cap. It's just the illusion of a cap. Okay, now you want to work a little fast. Our E6000 will get tacky, which is great, but it'll also get dry. And so I need to see what I'm doing. Okay, can you guys see? I think you can see. Okay, it's time to start rhinestoning. Let's